Welcome back, folks, to Ark Official, as you see in the background, Survival Evolved. This is how to beat the what people call the Alpha Tech Cave or the Alpha Overseer. Guys, pretty straightforward and simple. It's up at the volcano in the middle of the map on the island. And like I said, this is official servers you can beat this on. Actually, it's probably even easier on official because stats are so high now. But anyway, a couple things with this fight, and we'll be going through everything as we go. One thing I want to mention right away. Now in the background, I have this on 4x speed, so you guys 2 and 4x speed. So the video ain't long, but I don't leave everything, and I leave everything in the video. You're gonna want to leave your cryopods, Rexes in cryopods, and you're gonna want 2 gigas for this guy in a yacht. Now, I want to be very clear about this. When you put your tributes into the little mini obelisk there to activate it, leave them in there. When you're done, you can come back out and get them back, and it will not use them up. That still works. So, for some of you guys seen the guide I did 2 years ago. Actually, this fight out of all of them is the most similar. There isn't going to be a whole lot different, but we do now know that these tributes you see in the background, you can see once I activate it right here, that it does not consume them, and I put them in my inventory on this run to test. If you take them in your inventory, you will lose them after the tech cave. So just leave them inside them there, and then grab them back out when you get back. When you get in, you go ahead and unpod your gigas. I use 2 gigas. You could do it with only 1, but the mate boost of the gigas on imprinted gigas is a huge help. Now, if you're looking for what I have for stats, I actually have top stat gigas, which are the maxed out ones. But you guys, for those that didn't seen the previous guide, we actually did it with like 7 or 600 hatch melee, pretty easy. So as long as you're hatching, 500-600 melee on your gigas, and then you imprint them, you're gonna be absolutely fine with a good saddle. And when I say good saddles, in this video, I mean 90 or better. And you won't have much problem with it. Now, when you're going down through the tech cave part of this fight, your biggest deal is going to be waiting on people, because what you're going to want is anybody that's coming with you, because you can do this solo if you want, but the biggest thing is if you have multiple people behind the 2 gigas in the yacht is really good for roaring out stuff. But if you have people behind there, just have them on 1 Rex and keep everything else that you have potted. Like you could bring 17 Rexes or so. I mean, you really could do 19 in the yacht, but you really don't need that many Rexes to complete this boss. The biggest thing in the tech cave here, as you go down, as you see the pathway I take, is there really isn't nothing hard when you have a Giga, even on Alpha. On the Alpha Overseer here, there's 2 gigas generally, and both of them aren't very hard. The biggest deal is if you have a lower melee giga, back up while you're hitting them. A lot of times they won't hit you, and the only damage you're really going to take in this cave is from bleed effect, or if you fall, but you should have no problems with that. And then as you go down, if you wear a tech helmet or a Gen 2 helmet, you can actually see I have all these stuff highlighted if you cycle the visor on, and you can see all that. So right here, right before that gateway is the last Giga that you have to fight. And what you do to get rid of all the Prolovias, because you want to get rid of all the Prolovias in this area here, is you can have a friend walk at your feet with the Giga, and you just bite them when they come out of the ground. As you can see, she's going to pot up her Giga and walk with me. And like I said, you have plenty of time to do this mission. And we're walking back up to this hill because if you go up to this top of that hill, that cliff that's right by the end of the tech cave, right up here, you can actually unpod your Rexes, as you can see here. This still works. So you're going to take and unpod your Rexes and have them follow you off the cliff. It's easier if you have more people because you have less, you know what I mean? You have less people actually, less Rexes to control. Otherwise, you can just take a few at a time. As you can see here, I kind of go to the right side of the cliff and then I turn around and then go straight off so that none of them fly over the lava. And once right before you hit the ground, you just get off of your Rex and it won't take any damage. And then you get down to the bottom here to the tech cave entrance. As you can see, all the Rexes coming down that hill. And I want to be very clear. This is that unpodding Rexes at the top of the hill has worked basically since they added the overseer to the tech cave. So, and they have not changed it. Now, I got comments on the last video that it didn't work. Clearly, you can see it works. You just make sure you're up on that cliff, back far enough away from the entrance. So once you're in this walkway to the teleporter, there is a couple notes. There's 3 of them. They're not overly important, but if you are going for them, there's one on the right side in the beginning, one on the left side later down, and then right before you go into the room with the overseer, across the bridge is the left tech note. Now, for the Rexes that you want, as they have not changed the overseer after adding it, really not much has changed. We've done this with 500 melee Rexes, and then you just pump a bunch of health and melee. With the new stats that are out, some of these Rexes that you're seeing, the X Rexes, these were top stat X Rexes, the 1600 melee, and all we did was imprint them. I think we pumped a couple levels just to get to 50k health, which you don't need that much because you'll see we didn't even come close to losing a Rex. But you probably would want at least with levels pumped, you probably want around 25-30k health and right around 1500 melee at least, and that would be like the bottom end of what you want to do with good saddles if you have really nice saddles. But with the stats that are out there, these guys are already really old. Should be really easy to get your hands on good stat Gigas on official or good stat Rexes, and just put good. All you got to do is put good saddles on them. Right here before that left door, right there is the last note. And once you get in here, you kind of want one person to take control of all them Rexes that are following. Make sure everybody that is riding a Rex has their Rex on ignore group whistles. And then you'll see here, I'll start whistling all the unridden Rexes around. And all these circles you see on the ground here, these big pillars that grow, them are going to come into important later. So just keep that in mind. You just send them the Rexes on attack the target. If you are the main Rex guy, like I am here in this one, you'll see that I'm sending him, I keep controlling him to the boss. Now, when he has his shield up, you can't do any damage to him. And if you are ridden, and you see that ball like that, before that, if you want, now I didn't really do it a whole lot in this fight because it's super easy, but if you are worried about it, go behind the pillars. He's not going to dismount you. If you go behind the pillars, he's not going to dismount you. Them big pillars, like right there to the right. And then also, so he'll shield himself and then transition. I would not worry about the defenders on the ground or anything in the air. They're not going to kill you. And for your armor in this fight, by the way, any armor will work if you bring 100 med brews per person, because you're really not taking that much damage. It's hot and cold, but outside of that, it's pretty straightforward, and the boss will change his appearance a few times, obviously, throughout the fight. And but if you really were worried, you could put good ghillie on in the beginning, and then flak on once you get to the cold area. But if you watch your health is from the damage that you take from temperature, it's not an issue. Just keep just keep an eye on your health and pound a few med brews. Outside of that, it's a pretty straightforward fight. He'll transition to all the island bosses, and it'll be 3 times, and then after that, you are done, and you will get your bonus 15 levels. After the fight, too, if you want, up on that left side, you can get up there. There's another note if you do want it. Otherwise, when you go to the end cutscene, one thing you guys might want to take into consideration is if you don't get the cutscene, that's fine. Just close your app, reopen it if you get the black screen. Otherwise, if you get the end screen, wait till it says end and then download your character. Sometimes if it's your first time, it'll freak you out, but just download your character and spawn like you normally would. But hopefully this guide helps you out, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks.